This is Jack, and I'm here to communicate about first impression, the first impression of each and every single being or manifestation that exists within this existence. Now, the first impression, this is the first impression that was imprinted within the nature of ourselves in the beginning, which has, through aeons of time, manifested what is here in this very moment as this existence within which we experience ourselves. Let me use an example, for instance. Let's say that you came into existence. We all came into existence as an atom. And you, as this atom, experienced you. Now, that experience of you in the first moment that you've come into existence is what is referred to as the first impression. Let's take myself, for instance. My first impression of me coming into existence, looking at where I am in the vastness of infinity, I had the impression of me as being inferior to what I see as infinite vastness. I was in awe in the greatness of what I and within which I experienced myself. Now, each one being within this existence had such a first impression. Now, of course, the question is, what is the importance of that very first impression? There are an extensive amount of beings within existence, and extensive does not even cover the amount of beings that are in existence. Now, each and every single being, as an atom that came into existence, had a first impression of the experience of themselves. Now you put each and every single being that came into existence's first impression together. This designs, creates, and manifests this entire existence within which we experience ourselves together. It is, for instance, to give you another example, to take yourself. Now, in the interdimensional existence, what you're able to do is to spread yourself over and within all of existence, all time frames, etc., into little particle atoms of yourself. Now, as you apply this, and you're not standing within oneness and equality as you, as the entirety of your being, each particle of you as the atom spread out into existence will have a different impression of the experience of myself. And then, as I bring everything back together as myself, all together, all the atoms, all the different impressions of each and every single atom of me has a different impression, which then as one design who I am, which is this entire existence basically. For instance, let's take it from the principle of oneness. We're all one within this entire existence, yet have a look, each one of us are like little atoms moving around, which designs the one experience within which we are currently. So, now, it's quite interesting because we have been where some within their first impression, was either experienced inferiority or looked at this as having been an opportunity to impose their superiority of having this existence within which they experience themselves for themselves, from the perspective of controlling, being a god, being in power, being in control. But realize what I'm speaking about in terms of this first impression of us being a first atom that came into existence. It's not consisting of words, it's not consisting of a language. It is your literal experience of you within yourself as a first impression of you according to this existence. So, what I suggest each one do who are dedicated and committed to themselves is to have a look at their impression with regards to this entire existence. Everything that exists in this existence currently. What is your impression on it? In other words, what is your experience towards it? Word it, write it out specifically, lay it out before you, and apply self-forgiveness accordingly as to remove that first impression imprint within you that is currently feeding and designing and manifesting and playing a part in the design of this entire existence within which we experience ourselves, which is unacceptable, to say the least. So, we're all here in this existence, dimensional beings, human beings, animals, nature, water, earth, planets, stars, everything exists and is aware. And we're all in this together, so we're all currently together manifesting this experience because of our first impression that we have made upon ourselves according to our perception of the experience of where we are, instead of realizing our oneness as everything that exists. So apply this process of looking at your impression towards everything. Make it nature, the banks, money, government, schools, friends, teachers, family, cars, house, food, the earth, ground, mountains, existence in its entirety, hair, bed, everything. What is your impression towards? What is your experience towards? Because if you have an experience or an impression, you're in separation. Okay, thank you very much. This is Jack.